Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaste, Namaskar, good evening, welcome to Postmortem with Bala Nagendran, the most enlightening show on radio, only on Radio on a Flight of Life. You're listening to Radio on a Flight of Life, the vehicle that transforms your life from stress to bliss. You're listening to Bala Nagendran live from Chennai on your most enlightening show, Postmortem. Enlightenment begins here. Thunderous Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m., 60 minutes of enlightenment, where we are going to dissect an important issue tonight to provide you an impartial analysis. The postmortem report of tonight is going to be of global decision-making body. We have been seeing the issues and we have been resurrecting or exhuming the buried secrets of many issues, not barring the national differences. We have seen scientific to globally threatening Islamic State. In that category, tonight we are going to dissect one of the global decision-making bodies that determines the position of a nation in deciding what's going to happen in the global political, socio-economic concern. We are going to see tonight an important organization, perhaps an important council that gives you the full mandate, if you are its member, to decide on the globally significant issues. India is striving and putting its strenuous effort to get into the paramount significant organization, yet there is a long path ahead. We are going to see what is that organization, the evolution, history, and what are the powers, the structural nature of the organization, the features, and what are the obstacles in front of that organization, and what are the obstacles which India has to face before getting what it wants. We have an enormous responsibility. That responsibility is getting into that organization. But are we close? Is the million-dollar question. The political media spectrums could enlarge the picture and show that yes, we are at the door side, just we need to knock and the door will be opened, we would be given a red carpet reception. But alas, the reality is something different than what we have dreamt of. That's why this is Postmortem, and that's why I am Bala Nagendran. He's here to provide you an impartial analysis of today's issue. So friends, with all your continuous monumental show up, we have been growing day by day. Radio Udaan, the journey to totality, voyage to veracity, a flight of life is on its verge of its eternal glory. Stay tuned to Radio Udaan through www.radioudaan.com. For instance, you are listening to Postmortem right now. If you want to give your feedback, go to radioudaan.com, www.radioudaan.com, www.radioudaan.com. I repeat, www.radioudaan.com, where you can find the link, submit feedback. You can select the show Postmortem with Bala Nagendran and find the combo box for rating the show. There will be 5 choices in front of you: excellent, very good, good, okay, poor. According to your choice, according to what you feel about the content, what you feel about the presentation, what you feel about the quality of information, which the Postmortem is focusing completely upon. You can submit your feedback. Your feedback will help us to open the door of success and the better progress of future Postmortems, as we have been delving into providing neutral information. Neutrality, integrity, professionalism, and accuracy are the key features of Postmortem. That's why this is Postmortem, and that's why enlightenment begins here. Apart from that, we are on Facebook as well. Very simple, facebook.com/Radio Udaan will take you to our official page and group where you can find your place in delegating the responsibility of shedding some lights on what has to be done. in order to make Radio Udaan better than the best of what it is today. Go to facebook.com/Radio Udaan, find the page in the group, and put your valid thoughts, insights, and ideas, incessant comments in the development of your flight of life. Go to Play Store, Android Play Store, and download Radio Udaan app. Enjoy Radio Udaan 24/7. 16 hours of musical extravaganza that kisses your eardrums, and 8 hours of infotaining shows, 4 hours of live and 4 hours of re-webcast. You can listen to this re-webcast of Postmortem tomorrow, 3 to 4 p.m. Well, friends, today we are going to see an important organization. We have seen about Nuclear Suppliers Group when India was cruising towards entering into the doors of the 48 member nation bloc. The reason behind such a rigorous campaign to penetrate into the 48 member nation bloc is to get into this organization, which the country has been focusing for more than 2 decades. The evolution traces back its footprints to 1945. Since 1945, the period of India being an imperialized nation went on to become one of the globally prosperous, fastest growing economy and the world's largest democracy. As the world's largest democracy with 16% of the population of the world, India should be in the position of global decision-making body. But unfortunately, India is finding its place to be a little difficult than what we could expect to get itself into such a necessitating significant position to a world's largest democracy. Communistic, hegemonic, capitalistic, European enormous powers have already occupied, which makes the journey of the democratic Asian country to stay outside the doors. We are going to explore tonight the reasons, causes, and the remedies with a future prospect. Postmortem tonight is going to talk about one of the globally recognized entity that determines political, economic, social, and diplomatic actions against the nation that forbids or violates the international law. On the other hand, these entities are the one that determines the stability and the instability of the nation. For example, in the year 2012, when Syria's Bashar al-Assad's regime received a vociferous opposition in the global arena, one country stood in favor of Assad, which saved Mr. Bashar al-Assad from losing his throne. In the year 2015, last year, twice, the globally acclaimed genocide, massacre, the killing of 8,000 Bosnian Muslims has been turned down into a common event by one country of this entity. We are talking about the paramount significant global decision-making body in terms of diplomacy. Every nation has an eye on that entity. Every nation wants to be its member, but permanently. This is where the question becomes enormous. The key word here is permanent member. And the organization that we are talking about is the United Nations Security Council. The United Nations Security Council, or simply known as UNSC, is one of the 3 major bodies of the United Nations. The United Nations has various organs like UNESCO, UNICEF, World Trade Organization, World Health Organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, UNHRC, UN Convention for Environment and Development, UNCTAD, UNDP, UNEP, IUCN, and so forth. But this 3 compiles the major part. This 3 comprises the global movement. Without these 3, nothing exists. Out of these 3, the most powerful, the third wing, is the United Nations Security Council, which we are going to dissect tonight on your most enlightening show, Postmortem, with your Bala Nagendran, live from Chennai, only on radio and a Flight of Life. Stay tuned. In the next link, we are going to see the evolution and the history behind this UNSC.
यार सुमित, एक बात पूछूं?
हाँ पूछो।
तुम्हारे सारे फ्रेंड्स स्टिक यूज करते हैं, पर तुम क्यों नहीं करते?
यार मुझे स्टिक के साथ चलना बहुत अटपटा लगता है और लुक भी तो बिगड़ जाती है ना अपनी।
अच्छा, मुझे तो ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं लगता। तुम 1 मिनट यहीं रुको, मैं जरा अपनी इंस्टॉलमेंट पे करके आती हूँ और कहीं जाना मत यहाँ से।
ठीक है। हेलो श्रेया।
हाँ सुमित।
यार कितना समय हो गया, कहाँ हो तुम?
माय गॉड, आई एम सो सॉरी सुमित। मुझे मेरी एक फ्रेंड मिल गई, मैं उसके साथ निकल गई। मैं भूल ही गई थी कि तुम मेरे साथ थे।
काश कि आपने सही समय पर केन का इस्तेमाल सीख लिया होता, तो आज हालात ऐसे न होते। इसीलिए दोस्तों, कीजिए केन से दोस्ती, क्योंकि नो केन नो गेन।
ओम मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुध्वजा।
भक्तजनों, इस मोह माया से भरे संसार में ना जाने कितनी ही दिक्कतें एवं परेशानियों ने सबको फुलटू फंसा रखा है और दुनियादारी में टोटली उलझा रखा है। परंतु चिंता का कोई विषय नहीं है प्रिय भक्तों, क्योंकि इन दिक्कतों से कुछ ना होता। देवी डिम्पल लेकर आ रही हैं इन सारी समस्याओं का समाधान। तो अब से एवरी फ्राइडे 8 to 9 PM सोशल कीड़े सर चढ़ के बोलेंगे in all is well with RJ Dimple on your favorite Radio Udaan, a flight of life.
लो आ गई नई आजादी।
मगर बताओ तो सही, कौन सी है ये नई आजादी?
ये आजादी है हमें और भी करीब से सुनने की।
वो कैसे?
वो ऐसे कि अब आप हमें सुन सकते हो हमारे ऑफिशियली एंड्रॉइड ऐप के माध्यम से, जो कि अवेलेबल है गूगल प्ले स्टोर पर।
तो आज ही डाउनलोड करें रेडियो उड़ान का ऑफिशियल ऐप और आनंद लें एक नई आजादी का। रेडियो उड़ान, अ फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
न फिक्र करो बीते लम्हों की कि कल का सूरज निकलना बाकी है। मिल जाएंगी मंजिलें आपको हमेशा कि आपके हौसलों की उड़ान बाकी है। सुनते रहिए रेडियो उड़ान, अ फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
Before entering into United Nations Security Council, we need to look what happened before. Who were the predecessors of this UNSC, which is haunting the global decisions right now? For that, we need to go back to the culmination of the humanly brutal World War I. The year 1919, two things emerged as an outcome of that global gruesome crime. One was the Treaty of Versailles. You all know that the Treaty of Versailles has been one of the reasons behind the emergence of Nazis and the dictator like Adolf Hitler. And another one was the League of Nations. Why we need to trace the footprints of League of Nations while talking about UNSC? Because the League of Nations failed, hence the term United Nations has been coined. So League of Nations has been drawn under the 14-point formula of the then President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson. In the year 1919, after that League of Nations, the Treaty of Versailles has been signed. The Treaty of Versailles has been criticized by many. However, at the time of the culmination of the World War I, most of the nations of the globe weren't being nations, but the colonies of the imperialists such as the United States, United Kingdom, France, Spain, Germany, Japan, Russia, and so forth. The then presidents of US, UK, and France have put all the onus on the countries that have lost in the World War I, like Germany, Italy, Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and so forth. Germany was the worst victim of Treaty of Versailles, which has completely been forbidden by Hitler as soon as he assumed the Chancellor in 1933. Benito Mussolini claimed that the so-called League is not powerful when sparrows are singing, but the eagles are falling. The League of Nations would lose its buckle. That's what happened when Hitler, Brazil, and Italy withdrew from League of Nations. Even the then USSR has withdrew on one time, although not as crucial as the above three. While talking about Treaty of Versailles, why do we need to talk about League of Nations? Because both have a connecting link. That is, Treaty of Versailles only led to the failure of League of Nations. As far as we can assume, Treaty of Versailles has been discriminatory, totally partial, and absolutely unacceptable by putting the onus of war damages to the country which has already been ravaged by the war and lost in the battle. Well, let's get back to the League of Nations. The League of Nations possessed the mandatory method of assumption of power. What is meant by mandatory power? Which means the countries that are in leading position would only hold the leading position at the League of Nations. League of Nations will be the decision-making body of the powers. League of Nations would voice what the superpowers like USSR, US, UK think. All these things led to the disastrous collapse within 20 to 26 years. The League of Nations has been termed by the President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson, as a war to end all wars. I quote, a war to end all wars. However, it couldn't even stop World War II, which has become inevitable within 2 decades of its establishment. All these things have created to a global catastrophic battle between the Axis and the Entente, which finally led to the defeat of the Axis of Italy, Germany, Japan, and finally put an end to the Nazis, fascists, and the atomization of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All these things have led America, till then one of the superpowers, to become the lone superpower and the global policeman. Fortunately, it maintains till date. United States of America emerged as the country that only possessed the nuclear weapons in the year 1945. Do nuclear weapons has to do anything with this United Nations? Absolutely yes. We are going to see in the coming links. But for now, 1945, October 24, the term United Nations has been adopted. This has been adopted from a poem written by a British poet who talked about the Allies in the World War I as the United Nations. Especially, there is an interesting fact, a bathtub fact. While the President of United States, General Franklin Roosevelt, was on his bathtub, one information put him into ecstasy. What's that bathtub issue? What happened in the year 1945? We'll tell you in the next link only on Radio Udaan, Flight of Life. This is Postmortem. Enlightenment begins here. Today we are dissecting United Nations Security Council.
कभी तड़प, कभी तन्हाई, कभी बेबसी, तो कभी इंतजार।
ये मर्जी क्या खूब है ना, जिसे
मोहब्बत कहते हैं। तो मामला हो टूटे दिल का, या आपको आपके अपने ही कर रहे हो नजरअंदाज,
क्योंकि स्नेहा के पास है
इन सब
का इलाज।
अब से हर शनिवार रात 8 से 9 नजर आएंगे प्यार के कुछ नए रंग इन नजराना प्यार का। मेरा अजय स्नेहा ओनली ऑन रेडियो फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
नैब इंडिया यानी नेशनल एसोसिएशन फॉर द ब्लाइंड इंडिया की सबसे पुरानी संस्था है, जहां दृष्टिहीनों के लिए शिक्षा, रोजगार और पुनर्वसन की सेवा दी जाती है।
नैब इंडिया पर संपर्क करने के लिए हमें ईमेल करें hsg@nabindia.info पर। आप हमें कॉल भी कर सकते हैं। हमारा नंबर है 02266838637।
विकलांगों की आवश्यकताओं के अनुरूप समाज में बाधा रहित निर्माण ही है विकलांगजनों के लिए सहज जीवन का एहसास।
सहज सुगम विकलांग का जीवन, समय की है आवाज यही, सुगम्य भारत अभियान सफल हो, सरकार का है प्रयास यही।
सार्वजनिक भवनों, सरकारी कार्यालयों, स्कूल, अस्पताल, पुलिस स्टेशन आदि के साथ साथ विभिन्न परिवहन व्यवस्थाओं जैसे रेलवे स्टेशन, बस स्टॉप, एयरपोर्ट आदि को विकलांग जनों की आवश्यकताओं के अनुरूप सुगम बनाया जा रहा है,
ताकि दृष्टि बाधित, श्रवण बाधित तथा अन्य विकलांगजन बाधा रहित जीवन के सुखद एहसास से गुजर सके।
अधिक जानकारी www.disabilityaffairs.gov.in से हासिल करें।
सुगम्य भारत, सशक्त भारत,
विकलांग जन सशक्तिकरण विभाग, भारत सरकार।
एक मंच जहां मिलती है महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियाँ,
सवाल हो और जवाब दूं।
एक मंच जहां होते हैं हंसी और ठहाके।
वाह। एक मंच जहाँ होती हैं चर्चाएं।
दूसरी वाली आपको नहीं समर्पित करूंगा।
नहीं कीजिए, बड़े स्पोर्टिंग।
आप पहले सुन लीजिए, उसके बाद कहिएगा आपको चाहिए समर्पण कि नहीं चाहिए।
एक मंच जहां मिलेगा लोकप्रिय संगीत।
और इन सब के बीच एक ऐसा मंच जहां मिलता है सब कुछ। लॉग ऑन कीजिए www.radioudaan.com और जुड़ जाइए हमारे साथ।
Time is 8:25 on the clock, Thursday to 9 p.m. You're listening to the most enlightening show, Postmortem, with me, Bala Nagendran, on Radio Udaan of Light of Life. Go to youtube.com and find the channel Radio Udaan. youtube.com/Radio Udaan will take you to our official channel. You can subscribe there and listen your favorite shows that were on air in the past, when and wherever you want. For example, if you want to listen to this Postmortem, from tomorrow onwards you can find Postmortem on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/Radio Udaan. Well, as we are standing now on 1945, we should talk about the Yalta Conference. Convention of Yalta or Yalta Conference. After the gruesome bloodbath of 6 years, at the scattered bodies of the innocent civilians of millions, at the side of horrific whipped three leaders of the victorious nations, namely USSR, United States, and United Kingdom, have sat in there in 1945 to draft the convention which led to the establishment of United Nations. We regret the technical difficulties that have stalled our proceedings for a while, but now things are under control. So let's get back to the Yalta Conference of 1945. Yalta Conference has just determined who is going to rule the Germany. USSR and the United States and the Western forces have cut Germany into two, East and West. We all know the consequences. At the same time, there has been the consensus among the leading members of the victorious nation that there shouldn't be any more wars. United States has played a key role in establishing United Nations because it has assumed the power of the global hegemony, the global policeman, the global leader, and it doesn't want to lose at any circumstance. It doesn't want to lose at any cost, like the United Kingdom during World War II. Thus, United Nations proposal has been moved, and in the year 1945, October 24, it has been ratified. That's why October 24th is known as the United Nations Day. In the year 1945, all these three powers have become the members, and the five powers of United States, United Kingdom, France, Russia, and China, at that time the USSR, have been the permanent members. Now let's get back to United Nations Security Council in origin. The United Nations Security Council is one of the councils. United Nations has three major councils: the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, and the third and the most powerful wing is the Security Council. The Security Council deals with diplomatic, military, and political actions to maintain harmony in the world. The Security Council consists of 15 members, 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent members. But initially, there were 5 permanent and 6 non-permanent members. In the year 1965, there was an amendment to the United Nations Charter, which has increased the number of non-permanent members to 10. And out of this 10, 5 of them would have the rotation of resignation after each year. And strictly speaking, every nation holds the non-permanent membership for 2 years. As of now, the same 5 permanent members are there, and this current monthly chairing of the Security Council is with Japan. How is it possible? Might be a good question. The answer is, the chair of the Security Council is rotated with its members every month. Every month there will be a new chairperson of Security Council. In January 2016 it was with Uruguay, and now it is with Japan. In the August it is going to be with Malaysia, and in the December 2016, at the end of the year, it's going to be in the hands of Spain. That's how the chair of the Security Council rotates, but the permanent members will be staying there forever. What are the significant features of the Security Council? The significant features of Security Council is to pass the resolution, maintain the agenda of ensuring peace and humanity, stand against human rights violation, curtail genocide, massacre, and war. On the other hand, unfortunately, these permanent members have led to many wars, like Iraq and Afghanistan invasion, Libyan invasion, and so forth. Even now, the airstrike in Syria and the regions that are occupied by the globally threatening terrorist group, Islamic State. Well, the United Nations Security Council enjoys the supreme power compared to the other councils because it has the capability to propose for sanctions. The United Nations General Assembly consists of 193 members, out of which 10 non-permanent members are voted by the rest of the members. The chair of the Secretary General of the United Nations would not be occupied by the 5 permanent member is an interesting factor. Now, for instance, no permanent member of the 5 nations can have the chairmanship of the United Nations Security Council. Thus, they are trying to ensure transparency or devolution of power. But at the same time, that is a negative aspect of Security Council, that is in the form of veto power. Veto power is negatively used in connotation, in context, and in purpose. What is meant by veto power? We have studied the veto power of the President of India, the veto power of the governors of the states, the veto power of the President of the United States, and so forth. But the veto powers of the permanent members of the Security Council is another interesting arena of study. Whenever there is a resolution, for example, China moves the resolutions proclaiming military action against India. If all the 4 members are agreeing that that resolution will be deemed to have been passed unanimously. If anyone, for example, if China moves the proposal and resolution, which is supported by Russia, France, and United Kingdom, but if United States votes saying no, there shouldn't be any military intervention into India, that resolution becomes an absolute obsolete. The key word is an absolute obsolete. Even one member can veto and stall the proceeding. Okay, if the scenario is positive, for example, if one nation is moving for granting food and peacekeeping assistance, and even in that sense, if another nation vetoes it, that resolution will become unnecessary, toothless. This is the most undemocratic feature of the United Nations Security Council, That's why many developing countries are failing to possess its deserved position at the United Nations Security Council as the permanent member. For instance, India is a deserved country and a deserving candidate, but because of the no vote of China, or the veto power of China, which opposes vociferously, stalls India's proceedings to become the permanent member. So what that veto power has to do? How many times the veto power has been exercised? We'll tell you some interesting information in the next link only on Radio Udaan of Light of Life on your most enlightening show, Post-Mortem. This is your Bala Nagendran and we are discussing about the United Nations Security Council.
यार ब्लाइंड होने का एक प्रॉब्लम है। मन करता है अच्छे अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट्स में जाऊं और नई नई डिश ट्राई करूं, पर मेन्यू ही नहीं पढ़ पाता।
हाँ, और वेटर से पूरा मेन्यू तो नहीं पढ़वा सकते और हर आइटम की प्राइस पूछते हुए शर्म आती है।
जानती हो, ये प्रॉब्लम लो विजन वालों और सीनियर सिटीजन्स को भी आती है। रेस्टोरेंट्स में लाइटिंग भी तो बहुत कम होती है ना।
कभी कभी सोचती हूँ कि घर से खाना ऑर्डर कर दूं, लेकिन आसपास के रेस्टोरेंट पता करना और उनके मेन्यू जानना कितना मुश्किल है। कोई इसके लिए कुछ करता क्यों नहीं?
उन सब लोगों के लिए जिनको रेस्टोरेंट मेन्यू पढ़ने में दिक्कत होती है, इंडिया का पहला एक्सेसिबल रेस्टोरेंट फाइंडर एंड मेन्यू रीडिंग ऐप गुड फूड टॉक्स लॉन्च हो गया है। अब अपने मोबाइल, टैबलेट या कंप्यूटर पे कभी भी कहीं भी आप अपने आसपास के रेस्टोरेंट का नाम, एड्रेस, फोन नंबर और मेन्यू आसानी से पढ़ सकते हैं। बस गुड फूड टॉक्स ऐप एंड्रॉइड प्ले स्टोर से डाउनलोड करें। अपने कंप्यूटर या आईफोन पर www.goodfoodtalks.in that is goodfoodtalks.in खोलें और एंजॉय करें।
अरे वाह, मजा आ गया। देखो तो पास में कौन कौन से रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं।
रेडियो उड़ान पर मैं आरजे निशा लेकर आ रही हूँ एंटरटेनमेंट एंड एंटरटेनमेंट। क्या आप रूबरू होना चाहते हैं फिल्म जगत की लेटेस्ट खबरों से? जानना चाहते हैं किसका हो रहा है ब्रेकअप या फिर किसने किसको किया है टेकअप? कौन सी मूवी है इस हफ्ते की ब्लॉकबस्टर या किसकी जेब को लग रहा है चूना? इन सभी खबरों के लिए बी विद मी एवरी सैटरडे 7 to 8 p.m. and rebroadcast every Sunday 2 to 3 p.m. only on Radio Udaan, a flight of life.
रेडियो उड़ान सुन रहे सभी मित्रों को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। मेरा नाम मधु सिंघल है। मैं बेंगलोर में कार्यरत संस्था मित्र ज्योति, जो पिछले 25 वर्षों से दृष्टिहीनों एवं दूसरे विकलांग व्यक्तियों के लिए कार्यरत है, उसकी मैनेजिंग ट्रस्टी हूँ। इस संस्था की गतिविधियाँ इस प्रकार हैं। यहाँ पर दृष्टिहीनों के लिए ऑडियो में पुस्तकें रिकॉर्ड की जाती हैं। इसके साथ साथ ब्रेल में और स्कैन्ड पुस्तकें भी उनको दी जा रही हैं। कंप्यूटर प्रशिक्षण और रोजगार की सुविधाएं भी यहाँ प्रदान की जा रही हैं। दृष्टिहीन महिलाओं के लिए एक विशेष प्रकार का कोर्स चलाया जाता है, जिसमें उन्हें आत्मनिर्भर बनकर जीवन में आगे बढ़ने की क्षमता प्रदान की जा रही है। आप मित्र ज्योति से संपर्क कर सकते हैं। यहाँ का फोन नंबर है 08022587623 और 22587625। ईमेल एड्रेस है admin.office@mitrajyoti.org। वेबसाइट है www.mitrajyoti.org।
प्रतिभा की पहचान,
प्रज्ञा की मुस्कान,
सबलांगों का साथी, ये है रेडियो उड़ान।
रेडियो उड़ान के प्रोग्राम्स की जानकारी के लिए, शोज में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए, किसी भी शो को फीडबैक देने के लिए, आर्काइव रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए, आरजे बनने के लिए और अपने फेवरेट आरजेस की प्रोफाइल्स पढ़ने के लिए लॉग ऑन करें www.radioudan.com। स्काइप आईडी रेडियो उड़ान, ईमेल mail@radioudan.com। रेडियो उड़ान, अ फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
Well, Since the inception of the United Nations Security Council, 1948, till date, the veto power has been used for 237 times. Surprising. Enormous. This is gigantic. And in terms of blocking the entry, blocking the motion on reforms, 43 times. It's absolutely stunning to see that 43 times a veto power has been used by a nation to block the move in terms of reforms of United Nations Security Council. Let's look into the countries that have used the veto power. The largest user of veto power is the USSR and now Russia. Totally 103 times, including the last 2 veto powers of 2015. 13 by Russia since 1991 and 90 by the then USSR since 1945 to 1991. The second place goes to United States of 79 vetoes. Third goes to United Kingdom of 29. Fourth goes to France of 16. And the fifth one goes to China of 10. Out of which 8 vetoes are in conjunction with Russia. Since 1991 alone, Russia used its veto power for 13 times and the United States for 14 times. China has used it for 8 times. My goodness. This is how the veto power has been used to stall the proceedings. In that sense, we can say that 237 positive motions in one way or the other has been stalled. Since 1991, or at least since 1995, India has been campaigning to become the permanent member. If we trace back the history of India, even the Nehruvian period has seen India's candidature into UNSC as a permanent member. As a non-aligned movement members, at that time, India hasn't nodded to become the permanent member. But now, it is vociferously campaigning, and as far as the developing economies are concerned, India has garnered majority of the support. But in terms of the discussion itself, it has become imminent that China is not happy to add India and Japan. There are enormous reasons behind Chinese opposition. Many papers could say that that is due to Pakistan because both of them are all-weather friends. But the exact reality is not that case at all. Because if China cares for Pakistan, it wouldn't have been silent in the year 1971 liberation war. China's main aim is to maintain the Asiatic hegemony, especially in South Asia and Southeast Asian region. If India or Japan gets into the permanent membership, China will spontaneously lose its hegemonic Asian superpower. And China don't want at one bit. That's why it opposes the position. But according to the experts, now there is a position, there is a need for reforms at the United Nations. Even the 4 other nations, France, Russia, United States and United Kingdom, have raised their voice in terms of the reformation of the United Nations Security Council. But there is a discussion going on putting veto power to an end. The France has now initiated the discussion that no permanent member should invoke the veto power in preventing the globally important humanitarian aids. For instance, in the year 2012, Russia has vetoed and put an end to the United Nations resolution demanding the step down of the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Because of Russia alone, Mr. Assad has maintained and able to retain his throne. And in the year 2015, as we have said in the earliest, on July 4th, 2015, Russia has vetoed a resolution passed by the United Nations terming the massacre of 8,000 Bosnian Muslim men and boys in the year 1995 as a genocide by putting an end to the catastrophe happened at the time of the collapse of USSR. On July 29th, 2015, Russia has vetoed the international community's inquiry resolution passed by the United Nations on the shutdown of MH17 near the Ukraine region, which has created an international pressure. Hence, this veto power should be taken away, is what the question. And also, it is said that the reformed United Nations should possess 11 permanent members. Apart from these 5, there has to be 1 from Africa, 2 from Latin America, and 3 from Asia. And 3 of them from Asia can be India with nonchalant yes, South Korea, and Japan. But do we, the India, has fulfilled all the parameters or the benchmarks to become the permanent member of the United Nations? To know that, stay tuned to Radio on a Flight of Life. You are listening to Post-Mortem with me, Balana Kendran.
आलू है, गोभी है, मटर, टमाटर है।
आलू है, गोभी है, मटर, टमाटर बाबूजी एकदम बढ़िया ताजा है।
सेब है एकदम मीठा सेब, बाबूजी एकदम मीठा सेब ले लो।
अरे बाबूजी सेब ले लो, सेब एकदम मीठे हैं, बढ़िया एकदम। ले लो बाबूजी।
अरे भैया ये सेब का भाव दिए?
अरे बाबूजी ले लो, 120 रुपए किलो हैं।
अच्छे हैं?
अरे एकदम बढ़िया बाबूजी, कश्मीरी सेब हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा, 2 किलो दे दो।
दे रहे हैं बाबूजी अभी। ले बाबूजी।
अरे रे रे, 1 मिनट, तुम इन्हें पॉलीथीन में क्यों पैक कर रहे हो? ये बहुत खतरनाक होती है, क्या तुम्हें पता नहीं है?
बाबूजी ये कैसे?
देखो, जब हम इन पन्नियों का यूज करते हैं तो इसमें रखा सामान खाने योग्य नहीं होता। दूसरा, जब हम इसे फेंकते हैं तो पशु पक्षियों के लिए भी खतरनाक साबित होता है। पानी में डालें तो पानी को भी दूषित करता है और साथ ही साथ हमारी नन्ही नन्ही मछलियां इसमें फंस जाती हैं, जिससे उनका दम घुट जाता है। या फिर हम इन पॉलीथीन बैग्स को जलाएं तो उससे निकलने वाली गैस जैसे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से हमारी स्वच्छ वायु दूषित हो जाती है। तो ऐसी खतरनाक चीज का हम उपयोग क्यों करें भला?
सही कहा बाबूजी आपने। अब हम कबहू ना प्लास्टिक का थैला इस्तेमाल करीब। अब तो हम हमेशा कपड़े का थैला इस्तेमाल करीब और पन्नी का भी इस्तेमाल नहीं करीब।
दोस्तों, ये तो समझ गए, और आप नहीं समझे तो समझ जाइए।
रेडियो उड़ान द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
विजिट ऑन www.radioudan.com।
बदलता दो, जहां हम पहुंचाएंगे आपकी आवाज सरकार तक। बदलता दो, जो देता है आपको जानकारी अपनी कम्युनिटी में होने वाले तमाम इंसिडेंट्स। सुनते रहिए बदलता दो डिस्कशन रेडियो उड़ान पर हर रविवार रात को 9 से 10 और सोमवार 4 से 5 सिर्फ और सिर्फ रेडियो उड़ान पर।
कभी महक की तरह हम गुलों से उड़ते हैं, कभी धुएं की तरह पर्वतों से उड़ते हैं। ये कैचियां हमें उड़ने से खाक रोकेंगी कि हम परों से नहीं हौसलों से उड़ते हैं। जी हां दोस्तों, आप भी जुड़ जाइए हमारे साथ। अपने ख्वाबों की उड़ान लिए, अपनी कल्पनाओं की उड़ान लिए, अपनी ख्वाहिशात की उड़ान लिए। लॉग ऑन कीजिए www.radioudan.com और चलिए हमारे साथ एक कभी न खत्म होने वाले सफर पर, जिसका नाम है रेडियो उड़ान।
Welcome back to the last segment of Radio Udaan's Postmortem Enlightenment Begins here of Light of Life with me, Balanagan, and today we are dissecting the United Nations Security Council. Well, we have seen the greatest obstacle of the United Nations from reforming the United Nations Security Council, that is the veto power. And now let's see what are the blocks that India faced. What are the impediments which India has to surpass? The first and foremost thing is that India is yet to cross the benchmark of 4 trillion. India has surpassed the 2 trillion economy last year. India has become now a 2 trillion economy, but in the G4 countries which are bidding to become the permanent members, such as Germany, Japan, Brazil and India, India is the lowest. Germany performs at 3.8 trillion, Japan at 4.6 trillion, Brazil at 2.5 trillion, and India are just above 2 trillion. Even if 4 trillion is considered to be the benchmark, Japan is the only eligible nation to become the permanent member, and Germany can be considered as it is too closer to attain 4 trillion benchmark. India will take a decade or a half to attain 4 trillion. Hence, as of now, it is difficult. The second one is Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty that we have seen 2 weeks ago in our postmortem has been signed in the year 1968. India tested its first nuclear weapon in the year 1974. Hence, India is not allowed to possess or hold on to its nuclear capabilities, nuclear weapons, according to the treaty. And India hasn't signed the treaty. The countries that have tested before 1968 were in the permanent members, hence they are not governed by non-proliferation treaty to withdraw or dismantle their nuclear weapons. And the third one is the human per capita consumption. Although India is growing fast in GDP, in fact, India is growing faster than China in terms of GDP, PPP, but GDP per capita is one of the lowest in the world. If India is taken into the permanent member of United Nations right now, it will be treated as one of the poorest permanent member, because now the poorest country who is a permanent member at the United Nations is China, which has the per capita of GDP up to $8,000, but for India is $3,777, which is way lower than China, and hence stays away from the competition. India, on the other hand, maintains a mature nuclear record, which proves it to be the deserved candidate to become the permanent member. India is leading the largest developing national bloc or global bloc named as L69. India leads 42 nations in that L69. In that sense, as a representative of the developing countries, India deserves to be a permanent member. That's why most of the developing countries are supporting India's position at the United Nations as a permanent member. On the other hand, India is the largest in terms of the permanent members combined in providing peacekeeping force. The Blue Helmet Peacekeeping Force is the famous. Bangladesh, Pakistan are the first 2 largest countries respectively, and the third position occupied by India. That data may vary. In some years, India would be in the first place in terms of peacekeeping mission and peacekeeping force. In that sense, the total peacekeeping force of India is more than the combined peacekeeping force of the 5 permanent member nations, which itself proves that India focuses on peacekeeping mission. Hence, India's position of the global decision-making body as a permanent member becomes valid. But it is up to the diplomatic, political, international relations which would cater whether India will be taken into the member as a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, or we have to wait for 2 or 3 more decades from now. But notwithstanding all the drawbacks, it is totally unfair to make the country, that too, the world's largest democracy, with the 16% of the population, to stay out of the permanent membership of the important decision-making body of the globe, until the superpowers or the so-called developed countries want the unanimous decision of the people. It should not think of avoiding the decision of the 16% of the world's population, that is India. Well, with that note, it's time for me to take a leave from post-mortem and sign off to pave way for Tech City, a technocratic show on Radio Udaan, a flight of life, followed by Dil Se Dil Tak. Don't forget to participate in Dil Se Dil Tak to air your views. I'll meet you all next week, Thursday to 9 p.m. on your most enlightening show, Post-Mortem, with another important issues. Tell me, how do you feel about today's dissection of United Nations Security Council on www.radioudaan.com. You can also put your valid feedback on mail@radioudaan.com. Looking forward to your feedbacks and to improve and to make this most enlightening show the better one. Don't forget to listen to Radio Udaan. Keep listening to Radio Udaan. Enjoy Radio Udaan, especially on this Saturday and Sunday, 9th and 10th of July. You're going to receive the concoction of NVDA South Asia Con. So, listen to Radio Udaan on Saturday and Sunday for your webcast and to get more insights about NVDA Con of South Asia. This is me, Bala Nagendran, signing off from Chennai, saying take care of yourself if possible, take care of others. Good night. Buenas noches. Vanakkam.